Being disciplined is an act of commitment for the things that you want in life. And if you love yourself, why would you not continue to go after the things that you want in life?
And don't take this personal.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, Simply Kee Samone. If you are new here, I want to say welcome, and if you're returning, I want to say welcome back. Here on my channel, I make videos all about mindset, growth, and lifestyle, and today we are diving into a topic that I have struggled with in the past that I know some of you may be struggling with right now, and that is how to stay disciplined when you are not motivated. We have 4 months left in the year 2023, and we are still accomplishing goals. It is okay to reset. It's okay to go through a season of feeling stagnant and unmotivated, but let's face it, we need to get back to it. We need to reel it back in and get back to it. So if you feel like that this is you, then I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to do just that. Stay disciplined when you're not feeling motivated. So go ahead and grab you some water, kombucha, or wine, girl. Grab your notes, sit back, relax, and let's just get into today's video. Alrighty, so welcome back to another one of my chit chat mindset videos. And today we're diving into how to stay disciplined when you're not feeling motivated. We are coming into the last quarter of 2023, and I don't know about y'all, but there are definitely some goals that were on my list for this year that I have not yet obtained, but I have definitely been implementing some new things to try to stay disciplined when I'm feeling unmotivated. I know that this can be a really difficult thing for some people, because once you start feeling unmotivated and then you lose your discipline, it's kind of like a never-ending cycle. You're constantly being down on yourself about not feeling motivated, then you lose even more discipline. The more you beat yourself up in your head, then the more you're just not doing anything. So we're about to stop all that. Normally, when we do feel stuck in this rut, we're looking outside of ourselves a little bit too much. We're looking at what society and what our parents, teachers, friends, and all of those things, like how all of those things put so much pressure on us to stay disciplined, to stay motivated. And I think that when we look outside of ourselves too much, we set an unrealistic bar for ourselves personally. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's work ethic is different. Everybody's life circumstances are really different. And if we continue to look out to what society tells us that we should be doing to stay motivated, stay on the grind, stay on the hustle, we're going to run into some roadblocks that are going to keep us from actually being disciplined, because a lot of these things that we're seeing and a lot of things that are being pushed onto us, it's just unrealistic for some people. And so I feel like when you start to attack things, or you put yourself in a place where it's not realistic and attainable for you specifically, and we really do ourselves a disservice when we do this. You do not have to subscribe to what society tells us and how we should be maneuvering through life and what determines success. You determine what success looks like for you. And as soon as you take a step back and stop looking outside of yourself for validation on what productivity looks like or what success looks like, that is going to take so much pressure off of you. And that's one thing that I really had to realize, like, who says there is this specific rule book on productivity and achieving goals and, you know, being on the grind, being on the hustle? Who set that out? Who made the rule book? You make the rule book for you. I make the rule book for me. So once we decide in our minds that we are the CEO of our own lives, we create our own blueprint for what we want to see in our lives, I feel like that takes the pressure off towards stepping into your disciplined girl era. We have to learn the difference in between discipline and motivation. Motivation is just a feeling that comes and it goes. Motivation and discipline cannot be confused with each other. Discipline is an action that you choose when you are committed to something. So you have motivation, which is a feeling that is fleeting. It's going to come and it's going to go. You're going to have ebbs and flows. But discipline is more so an act that you're committing to something. It is the act of committing to something and saying that no matter what, I'm going to do this. I had to really focus more so on the end goal and the result and why I was doing something than the feeling itself. So the days that I woke up and I really didn't feel like turning on the camera, or that I really didn't feel like going to the gym, or I really didn't feel like going to work, I had to take myself out of that feeling and not focus so much on that and focus more so on the end result. Feelings are not facts. So the days that you wake up and you're like, I can't do this, I don't feel it, like I'm not doing it, it's not a fact in your head that you don't want to do it. It's not a fact in your head that you're lazy. It's not a fact in your head that you are unable to do this thing. That is just a feeling, not a fact. Now, when you look at your why and you look at the end result as it relates to discipline, this is going to be where your facts lie. Because you look at your why, why am I doing this? I want to create a successful community on YouTube. I want to get out mindset building messages to my audience. I want to share my lifestyle with my audience. Those are facts. Those are my why. Those are what's real, not my feelings in this moment. Because like I said, this feeling is going to come and go, and you never know. Next week, I'm going to feel like, yeah, I got this, girl. I could do this. The second thing that I really want you to think about is loving and honoring yourself as it relates to discipline. When you love and honor yourself, discipline is so much easier to obtain. And I did not realize how much love for self contributes to discipline. When you love yourself and when you honor yourself, you are going to choose to do those things that you know are going to benefit you, that you know are going to make you feel good, and that you know are going to benefit you in the long run, or there's some sort of end result that will give you some sort of success or happiness. One thing that's really difficult, especially for people who, experience imposter syndrome, or at some point in times they have low self-esteem, or they doubt themselves, or they don't really have a supportive community for what it is that they really want to do. It's hard to relate the two because you haven't connected that love for self to the discipline in doing that thing. If I love myself and if I dream to be my higher self, why would I not take the steps towards getting there? Why would I not honor the commitment that I put into for myself, because I know that this is something that I want to do, or I know that this is something that I want to obtain, or I know I want to get in the gym, or I know I want to go back to school, or I know I want to start my business. If I love myself and if I honor myself, then I will want the best for myself. And the best for myself is obtaining the things that I really, really want. As someone who has personally in the past struggled with love for self, knowing that I am worth everything that I want, once you connect the two together, it's really going to bring so much to life, because you're going to be able to separate, like I said earlier, that feeling from the facts, and knowing that I do deserve more. And why would I not honor myself in this way to get to my future self? My future higher self would not be down on herself or would not doubt herself in any way for anything that she's trying to obtain. You really have to train your brain to know what you deserve, and to know that the life that you dream of, that you are worthy of having it. You are worthy of obtaining it. Once you know for a fact, deep down in your core, you deserve the life that you dream of. You deserve to make all of your dreams come true. You deserve to be living the lifestyle that you want to live. And that is another part of self-love, knowing that you're worthy, knowing that you deserve it, and knowing that it's not going to come to you just because you dream of it or just because you want it. Sometimes in the past, whenever I have been down on myself for not being motivated or not being disciplined, I really had to more so approach it with love. So just like love for self, self-love, honoring ourselves, you want to approach your goals with love and not out of a place of I'm beating myself up because of this. So for example, if I don't go to the gym the certain amount of times that I want to go to the gym, or the certain amount of times that I've told myself that I'm committing to doing this many times a week, once I fail to do that thing, instead of approaching it from a place of shame, a place of, I can't stay committed to anything, I'm lazy, I just don't care about my body. Instead of approaching it in that way, once I started approaching my goals with love, instead of saying, I'm so lazy, clearly I don't want the body of my dreams, I guess I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. If I tell myself I love my body and I love the fact that I have the opportunity to change my body the way I want to, you see how different that is, how much more self-motivating it is. I'm telling you, that talk, that inner voice in your head that tells you that you can't do something and that you're not good enough to do something, you have got to train your brain to fight against that voice. Now, it seems difficult in the moment whenever you're feeling these feelings and you're like, there's no way I can just stop in the moment and tell myself, no, you can do this, and you love yourself and you honor yourself and you honor your body. It's kind of like a muscle. You have to train your brain. When people say train your brain and like manifesting and saying affirmations, this is really true. It's actually backed by science. You have got to train your brain to not act in the way that it's used to acting, just like the muscles in your body. If I go to the gym, the first couple of weeks, I am going to be hurting. My body is going to be like, girl, what is you doing? Why is you trying to tear us apart? That's just because our bodies are not trained to receive that type of muscle training. And it's the same thing with our brains. The more that you stop yourself from those self-limiting beliefs and that negative self-talk, you are going to be able to perform better. You're going to be able to approach your goals with love, and you're going to be able to just be softer on yourself. Give yourself much more grace. Perfect segue to another thing that I really wanted to touch on is giving yourself grace. We do not give ourselves grace. If we have failed at something in the past, we typically are not likely to continue to do that thing, especially if we have, those limiting self-beliefs and that negative self-talk. We are geared more to not attempting to do that thing again because we beat ourselves up over it. If you have failed at something in the past, that should be more so of a learning lesson and not like, okay, I tried that and I couldn't do it. Tweak the way that you did something, change your steps around. Do you need help? Do you need an accountability partner? Do you need certain training in this area, or do you need, a coach? Whatever it may be, just give yourself grace because you are human and nobody is perfect. I know that, again, social media keeps us in this loop like everybody just started and they just got perfect. For example, 3 years ago, my videos did not have this type of quality, this type of sound. Like, I didn't really know what was what, but as the years went on, I got better and I got better and I got better because I gave myself grace. I knew I was just starting out. I knew I couldn't really bank on where I was at or judge myself for where I was at because I was at a beginner. I was in the beginning phases. So if I had not have given myself grace, I wouldn't have been able to continue to move forward. I wouldn't have been able to, put one foot in front of the other and love on myself and be like, I know I'm learning. I know I'm growing. At least I have the opportunity to get better. At least I have the opportunity to learn from where I just started. And that in turn gave me or allowed me to tap more into that discipline because I knew that if I wanted to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I have to love on myself. I have to give myself grace because everything takes time. Everything is a process. You have to build up momentum for anything it is that you want to do in your life. And so with that, I was able to keep going forward even when I wasn't motivated to. Even when my videos weren't looking the way that I wanted to, I was able to tap into that discipline because I gave myself that grace. Another thing that I really want to touch on that I feel like really kills our discipline when we're not motivated is because of hustle culture. This going hard hustle culture, especially within us Black women, and I love the soft life movement and the soft girl movement. I'm in my soft girl era. Although a lot of women do have different definitions of what a soft life looks like to them, but I feel like it's the hustle culture that burns you out. So when you're so kind of like how I mentioned earlier with the outside influences and society telling you that you need to go hard, go hard, go hard, go hard, you are going to burn yourself out. And I feel like our motivation dies off and our discipline starts to dwindle once we become burnt out. You can still be consistent with something and not burn yourself out. You just have to make periods of time in which you are like, okay, this is my rest. this is when I can recoup, and that's what's going to keep me going. One thing that you don't want to do is be running on an empty battery, running on E. If you run yourself into the ground, your discipline is going to disappear because it's going to feel like you are burning out. That right there within itself, feeling that burnout, it's going to kill your discipline faster than anything. Okay. So we really want to be strategic and be mindful with ourselves and being realistic in how hard we go when we are trying to obtain these things. And I'm not saying take it one baby step, this month and the next month I'll take one baby step. No, I'm saying, of course, be consistent, but be realistic in your consistency. Don't overdo it all the time. Again, like I said, give yourself grace. When you're feeling tired or you're feeling like you may need a little break, listen to your body. I know sometimes it's easy to feel like we're a little bit tired, but we're like, okay, I can push through this. And then the following week, we're like, okay, I'm still feeling kind of tired, but I'm just going to go ahead and push through. I'm just going to go ahead and push through. A couple weeks of that and a couple months of that, you are going to start to feel burnt out. When it comes to discipline, I really had to stop thinking so big and think a little bit smaller. Like, I know our favorite saying or our favorite TikTok is think big, bitch. Think big, bitch. But you do have to think big in the grand scheme of things when you plan. But when it comes to discipline, you really have to think small. Make sure that you're sectioning off those baby steps. Make sure that it's in a consistent manner and you're not completely like, all right, I'll film one video today, or okay, I'll go to the gym today and then I'll go next month because I'm taking it easy on myself. I don't want to burn out. No, you want to be able to take care of yourself, find a balance in between taking care of yourself and staying consistent. That discipline, once you start being consistent in something with the smaller steps, then you're able to maybe add on an extra step here, add on an extra step there. And then you already have that discipline instilled with you or instilled in you that you're able to keep going. That is pretty much the basis of how I did, which was create a system that worked best for me. 1 video a week for a couple months, 2 videos a week for a couple months, then, so on and so on. I've created a system for myself that was realistic for my lifestyle, realistic for what I knew that I could obtain now, and it makes me feel even more motivated once I see my discipline. But you can't just jump off the boat or jump off the porch running. That is just going to tire you out super fast. That's going to bring your self-esteem down kind of. It's going to kill your grace that you are giving yourself, because you are going to start to feel like, dang, like I can't even keep up with this massive schedule that I've gave for myself. So it's going to slow you down even more. It's going to kill your discipline even more. Like, it's almost like you can't expect to go to college today and then expect to be doing junior and senior year work. Like, it don't work like that. You get your basic classes out the way, you get your easy stuff out the way, you get the stuff that you should already have, like just the ground level of your discipline, and then you work your way up. It's like that with everything in life. And I know that people, once they start doing something, they want to go balls to the wall, they want to go hard because they have goals and they have dreams and they want to attain it faster, because that's kind of like the world that we live in. We want everything so quickly and so fast. But once you realize that things are a process and that you love yourself and that you're able to give yourself grace, you won't mind going through the process. You won't mind taking the baby steps and making sure that you don't get burnt out in the process. That is what's going to keep you going. That is what's going to keep you disciplined. And then in turn, that motivation will start to come back around. That motivation will start to come back around. You really have to look at it from a linear perspective and not just from the end result looking down, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. The last thing that I really want to touch on is to just love on yourself through the process. I know I've mentioned the process and steps and how you can take back that power to gain that discipline. And sometimes, there is a time where we do have to take a step back and just love on ourselves in the process. The process is where everything happens. And I know we get sidetracked because we're so focused on the end goal, but you have to love on yourself throughout the process, and you have to just love the process throughout itself. It makes the end goal so much more worth having, and really being able to give yourself grace and love throughout the ebbs and flows of life and the process, because everybody's process is like that. Whether you believe it or not, whether, you know, whatever people post on social media or not, just know everybody had a process. Everybody had something to do. Everybody had to love on themselves through the process and actually fall in love with the process to keep going with something. Because if you are steady, focused on the end goal, you won't care to do what it takes. You won't care to do what's required to get to that end result. If you love on yourself and you love the process, and you know, train yourself to love the process, because let's face it, again, I have to continue to use YouTube for an example. Sometimes I don't want to edit. I don't feel like editing, but I love editing overall. That's just like sometimes, you know, even your favorite gym guru, I guarantee you there's some day that they wake up and they're like, damn, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I don't feel like dealing with any clients today. They still have a deep love for the process and they are committed to it. So they don't have to rely on motivation. They can rely on discipline and the love for the process. Life is a continuous journey filled with so many different seasons, and you have to think of the seasons in your life kind of like the seasons in the year. Things are going to change. Sometimes, you know, things are going to be a bit slower. Sometimes things are going to be faster. You know, sometimes things are going to be bad. Sometimes things are going to be good. And once you realize that, you know, that is going to happen, it's inevitable for there to be just ebbs and flows in life itself. You're able to take on those times where it's a lot harder to push through. You're going to be able to accept those times when things might not be ideal or things might be stressful, but it's easier to accept when you know that it's inevitable to happen to you. Everything is a process. Everybody is going through things and everybody is just taking it one day at a time. And if you continue to let those periods of time where you're not motivated stop you, you are going to stay exactly where you are. Continue to express gratitude for where you are today. And that is going to remind you at the times where you just really, that you're really searching for it, that you're really digging deep to get that energy out, to get that discipline and to regain your motivation. Make sure that you're expressing gratitude daily. This is going to remind you of how far that you've come. Even when it seems like you're not where you want to be, you're still farther than where you were last year. You're still farther than where you were 5 years ago. So continue to express gratitude. This is going to just remind you how far that you've come. This is going to help you stay with your discipline. And again, that motivation is going to come circling back around to you every single time. And again, just remember, ebbs and flows. The motivation is a feeling. It's going to come, it's going to go, but being disciplined is an act of commitment for the things that you want in life. And if you love yourself, why would you not continue to go after the things that you want in life? The only thing that is stopping you is this facade that you have to have motivation to move. You just have to love on yourself, love the process, keep to your discipline, keep to your steps, and that motivation will come back around sooner than you think. Okay, beautiful people. So normally I know that was kind of all over the place, and normally I break things up into tips, but I really just had to do a brain spill because I feel like that many of us face not feeling motivated so often these days. And again, social media and just the perception of everyone else's lives and success really does, you know, affect us in that way. Thank you again so much for sharing space with me. If you've made it this far in the video, I thank you. I thank you so much. Make sure that you leave down in the comments anything that you're working on now, anything that you haven't been feeling motivated to do, but you really want to get that discipline. What is one step that you are going to take today to make sure that you stay disciplined and committed and to love on yourself and to love the process? I'd love to chat with you all in the comments below about it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And also do not forget to hit that subscribe button, girl. Turn on your post bell notifications so that you won't miss another upload or you won't miss another mindset chit chat video like this one. And also do not forget to slide on over to Instagram and follow me there at _Kee Samone, and the same on TikTok. And yes, I will just see you all in the next video.
I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you.